we are live. Take it away, Alex.
All right, you sound just like Tom. Zachary, we have a special guest today. Thanks for joining another AMA. Every week we try to bring you the news and the updates about Celsius and the world of crypto, the world of finance, and we try to rotate it. So you get to meet all the different people in Celsius. So let me start with introducing Zachary, because many of you know him from Telegram. Many of you have been talking to him for years, I guess now, right? On Telegram. And Zachary was a very enthusiastic Celsian. I think I met him the first time in person in Vegas. He helped put the booth together. He was like getting everyone who's passing by to download the app. He was like, he got an A+ from the team. And we all decided we can't just let him be an ambassador. We need to bring him on board. So he's now full-time. How long you've been now full-time? Because I feel like you were all full-time for years. But
2018.
Yeah, exactly. But Zach has been running our ambassador program. So if you're an ambassador, you are talking to him. The content, everything else is from him. He's also in charge of the referral links and all kind of other stuff that that many of you are using every day. So thank you, Zachary, for all of your contributions and for being part of the team.
Thank you.
And I have so much news to talk about today. You have no idea. Like I have 2 full pages here of stuff, of new great stuff, and you guys are going to love it. I mean, it's just cranking. So
give the people what they want, Alex. Give the people what they want.
Yes. So let's start with just a high-level stuff. So we talked a little bit about in the last several AMA. We talked about financial freedom and how you get there, and what are the really important decisions that each one of you has to make when you are financially planning for the future. And what's funny is that in the last few weeks, I've seen more and more of these 70 and 80-year-old world-class financiers go on Bloomberg and on YouTube and on the CNN and CNBC and talk about Bitcoin as if they were there all this time. And Bitcoin is an obvious choice, right? Many of them, that's the first time they mentioned the word Bitcoin publicly, because until recently, talking about Bitcoin was a heresy, right? For somebody who's been on Wall Street for 50 years. So I think the reason you see that big change is because I think the OCC decision, right, to allow banks to custody crypto, the decisions by JP Morgan, for example, big decision to take their Chrome kind of copy of Ethereum and give it back to Joe Lubin, who was actually one of the creators of Ethereum, right? So they went back to the source and said, look, maybe we don't know how to run this decentralization thing. Maybe you can help us run it for us. So all these things are great indicators that mass adoption is happening, right? Mass adoption is coming. And you can see that also in the price, not just of Bitcoin, but also Ethereum and DeFi and alts, right? I mean, there is just a firestorm going on through the industry. Obviously, for Celsius as well, our price is up 10x. We were a little bit ahead of the party. I think we were like the leading indicator of what was about to happen. And part of it has to do with just helping people achieve their financial goals. So we invented this category. Don't let anyone fool you. I saw Pomp talking about BlockFi after announcing and saying, oh, we created this thing called depositing and hodling and earning interest. No, you didn't, Pomp. And BlockFi didn't either, right? You guys were charging people 24% to take loans against crypto. How about 1%, right? So come on. Credit goes to the people who actually created this, invented this, and made it to work in the best interest of the community. So, and the credit goes to you guys, not to me and not to Zach and not to anyone on the Celsius team, because you guys supported the project from the beginning. You funded it. We just built it. Then you basically contributed your coins, right? And allowed us to earn the interest on your behalf. So, or rewards on your behalf. So all these things are basically things that you did, not we did. All we did is we kept our promise of building it, kept our promise of earning yield, and kept our promise of giving you 80% or more back to your wallet, right? And these are the things that no one else has yet done. All these people that claims that they're better than Celsius, or they're copying Celsius, or they're going to be better than Celsius, none of them today does any of these things. So let me share with you some stats that I think you're going to love, right? We returned 35 million cell tokens to the community. We bought in the market and then returned and deposited them in our users, 150,000 users, 35 million cell tokens. There is only 695 million cell tokens in circulation, right? And the pace is accelerating, right? Every week we're buying more and more and more cell. You'll see this week will be a mega new record buys of cell because we have so much more coins and we have so much more interest that we have to pay. And so many more people are using or earning in cell. Withdrawal fees. Do you know that Celsius has never charged a single customer withdrawal fee? Okay, so if you do DeFi, how many withdrawal fees did you pay? Right? I saw a guy talking about doing DeFi and how he's moving from this and this and that. And then he said, and that cost me $3,000 of moving all the coins. These are all withdrawal fees. Celsius doesn't charge any withdrawal fees. When we tell you that you're earning a certain interest rate, that is your rate. You want to take the money out, you can take the money out anytime. I'll give you another example, right? We just lowered the ACH fees in the United States. You can basically send money to Celsius with 0.1% fee. Okay, that's not our fee. That is the interbank fee, right? 0.1%. That's the lowest price in the industry. Now, there are some people out there who claim that they don't charge any fee for ACH or SEPA. Yeah, they don't charge you a fee for the deposit, but then when you try to move the money or buy something with it, there's a withdrawal fee. So, just look at the fine print. And actually, we're going to create a website that has all the fine print about every company out there. Since we have none, we're just going to put next to it all of the hidden fees and all of the stuff that you guys got charged. So send an email to hiddenfees@celsius.network and tell us your story of the hidden fees that you've paid. And we're going to plaster it on our homepage and show everybody what are the hidden fees with crypto.com and what are the hidden fees with BlockFi and what are the hidden fees with Nexo, all my favorite companies, and we're just going to open the kimono and show everybody while Celsius has paid on your behalf, picked up your tab. You went to the bar, you picked up a drink, you drank it, you put it down, you were about to pay the bill and somebody else came and paid it for you. That's what Celsius does every time you withdraw coins. You didn't know that, right? But we paid hundreds of thousands of dollars on your behalf. Why? Because we act in your best interest. And you'll never find a hidden fee that, oh, we got you in the front, we already got your money. Guess what? You want to move it? That's going to cost you. No, we don't do stuff like that. So let's keep going. Referral fees, right? We paid over $650,000 to the community. If you remember last year, I came on an AMA, one of the first AMA, and I said, we are no longer going to give money to Google, to Facebook, to all of the websites, the crypto website. You go on any site and you see hundreds of ads from all of these competitors of Celsius, right? Spending money with your money. Which money do you think they're spending? They're spending your money on those sites to convince you and your friends to give them even more money. You're never going to see an ad from Celsius, right? Why? Because we take any excess capital that we have and we give it back to you as rewards. If you bring a friend, we give you $20. You get $20, they get $20. You bring a affiliate link, you get $50. You bring a loan, you get $100, and the person taking a loan is getting $100, right? And I'd rather do that all day long than spend that money with Google or Facebook. So that's several $100,000, over $650,000 of just referral fees that we gave all of you. I just crossed 100 referrals. I don't know about you. How many did you do, right? Never too late. Now it's 20 plus 20. We've never had a better offer. You can make this money real quick, right? And you get paid after 30 days, as long as the user had, I think, $200 in deposit for 30 days, you get paid, they get paid, right? We never miss the payment. We always pay on time, right? So we paid over $27 million in interest. Now, this is paid to the community. You know, like some of our competitors say, oh, you know, we paying millions every month. Well, who are you paying that to? If you're paying it to your shareholders or your largest depositors, is that the community, like the billionaires who deposited all this money with you? So, you know, let's call a spade a spade. And in Celsius, 150,000 retail users don't lie. Okay. So these are like some of the numbers. Let me give you some other things. So we raised the withdrawal minimums, which many of you were complaining about. So now you can withdraw $50,000 without any special secondary authorization or secondary verification. And the daily limit has been raised to 150,000. So you can do multiple withdrawals, like you can do 40, 40, 40, and there would still be capacity leftovers, and you don't need to do a video, you don't need to do all kind of other stuff. Now, I know many of you have been complaining to me that some of our competitors do everything to make sure you don't withdraw your coins. They tell you have to wait 3 days, then they tell you need to give them some extra document, then they have to see you wave your hands, then they have to, like, we had a person with a disability in a wheelchair. They could not withdraw their money. I'm not going to say the name of the firm, but could not withdraw their money from one of our competitors because they forced her to wave her hands, which she can't do. And they're like, sorry, we have to have that. I mean, it's just lunacy, right? It's fine to have security, but demanding things from people with disabilities is just definitely not the right way to go here. So our growth did come with some problems. We had a flood of tickets of people asking questions after every AMA. There's like hundreds of tickets. It's not really tickets. People are saying, Alex mentioned something about exchanges. Tell me everything about it, you know, or whatever. So you have to be patient with us. We doubled the customer service team. There's twice as many people now answering your tickets. And for example, we raised the limits to basically relieve the pressure. So there's be less for them to do on other stuff. So I hope that in the next few days, you're going to see us bringing the response rate down back to 24 hours like we used to, right? So anything that it's an urgent ticket, you should definitely expect a response from us in 24 hours. I know the email says 7 days. You can just ignore that. That is just a COVID thing saying, hey, it's COVID. We didn't know if people are going to even show up to work. So the good news is that everybody's still there. We doubled the team. We're crunching through the tickets. And be responsible. Don't, if you have a question, it's much easier, much better if you go on Telegram or Twitter and you ask the community than clogging the app at Celsius.network, right? So definitely be a responsible Celsian. That's what we're asking everybody to be, right? So loans at 1%, right? We had thousands of loans. I mean, it's like we had a flood of loans, and we can take more. We have more money. We agreed to cap it at 10 million. We're going to go above 10 million. Okay, people love these loans. People are paying off their credit cards with 1% loans. Love it, right? And if you want to know how we still make money on 1% loan, I think I explained it in detail 2 AMAs ago, right? Zach will post a link to the segment where I actually explain in detail how we can make money even though we only charge you 1%, right? So let's keep going. We decided that too many of you had a problem with Bank to the Future. You couldn't get your paperwork done. The documentation issues were there. Wire transfers didn't work properly. You submitted and canceled and you didn't know if it was canceled, all that stuff. We decided to open it for another 7 days starting yesterday. So it's open for 7 days only. First come, first served. Again, there's still a limit of 100 in the United States. I think there's few slots available in the US. There's many slots available overseas. But currently we're already at over 945 contributors who invested in the round at $120 million valuation. Again, BlockFi just did a round at 400 million. Now you tell me which company is better, Celsius or BlockFi? If you had to if you had an option, they wouldn't let you invest in BlockFi, right? Because it's only available for the fat cats. But if you had an option to invest in either company, where would you go? You tell me, right? A profitable company or a company that's burning cash and hoping that it will be bailed out by an IPO or a merger or whatever, right? So we open it up. Go ahead, subscribe. There is an extra benefit for onboarding with Bank to the Future because we are working, as I mentioned, to allow accredited US investors to also be able to earn and sell. And that will only be available to people who onboarded with Bank to the Future. So I know it's a tedious and frustrating process. There's nothing I can do about it, right? If you want to participate in that program, you need to go through that process. You can go through it, catch two birds with one stone, and invest in Celsius and participate in that earn sell program. In the future, it's going to be whatever, 30, 60 days from now. Or you can just onboard afterwards. You don't have to invest. There's no requirement that you must put money in Celsius to earn and sell, right? So those are completely two separate things.
And
What we do
Alex,
need
to clarify on that, is it going to be at the same valuation? Any changes as the previous
there is no
round?
change. Everybody gets the same thing as the people who invested when the original round was open. We did not change anything. We just allowing more people to come in, meaning Celsius is going to issue more shares. The people who are already there are going to keep what they already have. They don't get diluted. This is all coming from the company. The company is going to give the new investors additional shares. Okay. Many of you asked for Pax Gold, right? We love Paxos. I've mentioned several times that until we resolve the issue of actually creating yield on Pax Gold, we're not going to list it. We solved the issues. We're going to be adding it to the Tether Gold, which is already in the wallet. So that's going to take maybe a week. And you should be able to see Pax Gold listed, and you can deposit your coins and on gold and earn yield on top of it. And we raised the rate, actually. We know the rate, I think, is 4.5% or something like that. So it's a great product. I highly recommend it. Again, you pick your coin. We're not telling you to buy Tether or to buy Paxos. You pick the one you like. They're both going to have the same yield. And you definitely need a good allocation of gold, right? Gold right now is even better than Bitcoin because it's a much more stable asset. So Bitcoin is your moonshot, and gold is your bet that if the US dollar crashes, gold is going to hold its own, right? It's its own mountain, right? That you want to be on top of when the tide just starts receding and all the fish and everybody else gets in trouble. You know, all the whales get in trouble. So we talked about two exchanges. They're still coming on. These are not listing exchanges. People were confused. They thought, oh, Alex is listing Sell Token on two new exchanges. No, this is about exchanges, large exchanges, saying, I want to pay interest income to my community. Let's go to market. Let's find the best product out there. We chose Celsius. Now let's launch it as a joint offering. It's going to say Celsius right there on the website, right? And you'll be able to keep your exchange account and earn interest. So instead of just coming to Celsius directly, you can also have it on this or that exchange. So we cannot announce it for these exchanges. They have to make the announcement. The minute they do, we will be shouting off the rooftops to tell you all about it, right? But it's coming soon. Any day you should hear the first announcement.
Alex, to talk on that last one, I think people don't realize how powerful this is. Like, this is an exchange with, or exchanges with tons
billions
of
dollars. Yes, billions in
they're
assets.
coming
yes.
in. I mean, this is a huge.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right, Zach. I mean, let me elaborate on this a little bit. So the Celsius flywheel, the value that Celsius has, and again, there's no other company like Celsius. Anyone who tells you, oh, there's 10 guys offering interest income, they might be offering interest income, they're just not earning it, right? So the beauty of Celsius is that we have a flywheel that reinforces itself. So if we're adding these giant exchanges with millions of customers, and we are adding more deposits. We're adding more deposits. That means we're earning. We are making more loans, crypto loans to institutions. We're making more crypto loans. We're earning more interest. We're earning more interest. We have to pay you more in kind, but we also half of it we have to buy and sell token. So now people say, well, you already have over $1 billion. How much more can you take? Right now, we don't have enough coins. We don't have enough Bitcoin. We don't have enough Ethereum. Everything is fully deployed, meaning we're earning. That's why we've been raising the rates, right? So, and we talk about rates in a minute. So the point is that the flywheel just accelerates, starts running faster and faster and faster. Now, up to now, we were adding, 5, 7, 900 people, new depositors every week, few thousand new users every week. Now you're going to open the floodgates and tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people are going to show up very, very quickly, right? So this is not, like Zach was saying, this is not like another small step function. This is a flood of new customers that I think are going to be coming in because they're going to be like, oh, I trust this exchange. Wow, they partnered with Celsius. Well, now I trust Celsius, right? So that's really the effect that I think is going to be a big effect on everybody, right? So 2 new exchanges, we're working with many others. We also separately working on a listing, on adding sell to be listed in other places. The steering contest is between us and these big exchanges who want us to pay a fee. So we stare at them and they stare at us and they're like, oh, we charge everybody else $1 million. And we're like, you want us to bring you, the exchange, our best customers, our whales and our guppies and all of our any fish in the sea you can think about, right? Dolphins, the shrimps, right? You want us to bring all of that to you and pay you money for us to bring you our best customers. That does not make any sense. So I think we should charge the exchanges money to bring our best customers to them. And you might be laughing when I say that, but look at Robinhood last quarter, right? They had record revenues. Do you know where all these revenues came from? They got paid for bringing their customers to the exchanges and to the market makers. That is the normal Wall Street. It's just not the norm in crypto. In crypto, everything is upside down, and the exchanges think they can charge you money for you bringing their best customers over. Like I said, homie, don't play that. Okay, so we're gonna go and change the rules here. Why? Because we want them to pay us so we can pay you even more. And that's coming. It's coming fast and hard to crypto. So get used to it.
Especially our community. I mean, we have such a powerful and dedicated community that comes to us. And because the company treats everyone so well, they stick, and that solid base is extremely powerful. And yeah, absolutely. Why would we bring some of the best people in crypto to these exchanges without,
now you see the spark in my eye? You see that? You better take it seriously. It's coming your way. And talking about spark, I know a lot of people are asking about, are we going to support the fork and should I withdraw my coins? Spark is not like every other fork, okay? You have to really look at it, read about it, and you know what? Let me try to explain it maybe in a 2-second deviation from our regular programming. Okay, so what Spark is trying to do is almost bring DeFi to non-Ethereum chain, and they plan to do that on many different chains. And they're basically saying, look, we're going to create a complete Turing machine, which is something that it's a complicated word, right? Something that operates completely independently, that runs on this or that blockchain. And just like with DeFi or with DEXs, where you can run or add to an AMM, an automated market making apparatus, right? You can do the same thing now on all the other blockchains. And the benefit is that if you contribute your coins or you just stake your coins on those machines or on those networks, you get to earn sparks, right? So this is not about I have to hold the coins in my wallet for half an hour until the fork happens and then I earn something. And if I missed it, I'm not going to get those. This is about staking. Now, we've just introduced 5 new staking coins that are earning as high as 22%. This will be just another staking element, meaning Celsius on your behalf, without you having to get a PhD in computer science, is going to make sure it's safe, make sure that it's robust, make sure that it works, and only then take XRP, the pool. We have a pool of XRP, millions of XRP. Actually, if you were paying attention 2 days ago, there was like 6 million XRP that showed up in Celsius in one day, maybe even more, right? How much was it? I didn't see the exact amount.
We had
But it
a
was,
deposit of like 21 million
sorry,
XRP.
21 million XRP in one deposit. So we have probably 100 million XRP. I don't know exactly how much we have, but it's a giant pool of XRP. So if you want to know who's going to be, who's going to have more spark in their eye than anyone else, you're looking at them right now. We're going to, just like we figured out DeFi better than anyone, we're going to extract as much value out of it as possible on your behalf. We're not going to keep that like some of our competitors do, right? Keep all the good stuff to themselves, only giving you the little shrimps that no one cares about right here. This is for you, the leftovers. Don't say anything. I'm going to shut down your account if you say anything. Oh, there's a withdrawal fee if you shut down your account and you want your money back, so be used for that. So the point is, I'm on fire today, huh? It's like we had quite a week.
Keep it coming, Alex. Keep it coming. People love it.
Yeah. So one more benefit. Let's talk about that. I really like this one. So because there's so much congestion on the app at Celsius.network, we decided to bifurcate it. Meaning, if you're dealing with loans, you have a loan question, you don't need to stand in line with everybody else, okay? Just email loans@Celsius.network, and the loan team will deal with you directly. You could still email apps@Celsius.network. It's just going to take them longer to respond, right? You're going to be in the long line instead of in the short line, right? And we are introducing something new. We're creating top 200. Right now, there's a top 100, right? You go to our website, under media on top, the bottom button says top 100. That's a list of the top 100 holders of Cell token. A public list where some of us, like me, you can see my balance. Is it going up? Is it going down? Is it going sideways? And the other top holders, hodlers, right? And you can see if they are adding or not adding. The easiest way to find out is to go to number 100 and see if that number is going up or down, because it's getting harder and harder and harder to make it into the top 100, right? So that tells you, are people hodling or are they getting rid of it? If that number is going down, that means people are selling their token, and it's easier to get to the top 100. So long story short, we're going to make that list 200 instead of 100. And that 200 people are going to have VIP access, meaning any question you have, anything you need, you're going to not stay in the app at Celsius.network line. You're not going to stay in the loans at Celsius.network. You're going to have a special code. We don't disclose it. You need to know your code to basically get in to the front of the line and everything. That was one of the 7 utilities that is mentioned on our website. So we are decided to do it to the top 200. And thank you for being part of the 200. You want to know if you're there? When we publish the 200, look at your balance, sell balance, see if you can find exactly that balance. Then you know who you are, and you can claim your name. You can give us a nickname. Like you can say Han Solo. You can say whatever you want, whatever you like.
Godfather.
To be. Yeah, Satoshi, right? I think Satoshi's taken. Somebody's already Satoshi. So
interesting stat on the top 100. When it opened up, it took 219,000 sell to make the top 100, and now it's 326,000.
Yeah,
so
and
the
it's going
hodlers
up.
are hodling.
Exactly. It's a great indicator. If you're worried about where the price of sell is going, that is the best indicator. That tells you right away, because when you have limited supply and every day more and more people are collecting more and more sell, the price can only go in one direction. If they're selling, then it's definitely going down. So a lot of people are asking me about compounding and what does it mean? How does it work? So we have a calculator in our app. There's a calculator on our website. But just go and do some reading about compounding. What is compounding interest and how does it work and so on, and really get used to it, right? And the new website actually has a much better calculator that actually shows you the impact of compounding over many years and how it really is the driving force that can get you into that early retirement that we all talked about. Okay, so and let me just go back for a second to Back to the Future. So people were like saying, you already raised 20 million. Why are you reopening? Do you need more money? Or are you doing it because BlockFi raised 50 million? We raised 20 million. They're still in the bank. We haven't used them. We don't burn cash. We're profitable. So we don't need more money. The reason BlockFi had to raise more money is because they just raised 30 million just a few months ago. They burned through all of that. And their investors had to decide, are they staying in business and we have to cough up much more cash because they're burning faster and faster and faster? Or are we folding our cards, right? We don't have a full house here, so we're just going to fold our cards. So obviously they decided to double down, which is great. I mean, we love having other people that validate that what we're doing, we're not crazy. They're just trying to do it, but they can't get to be profitable. They're just burning millions of dollars every month, millions of dollars every month, while we are figured out how to do it and make money. So I love that. Keep doing it. And keep giving all your money to Google and Facebook. That's just great. You know, like we're giving it to the community. Who do you think is better? So 7 days, going back to the agenda here, 7 days is because, again, we're only opening it to accommodate the people who are really frustrated. We have a lot of unhappy people. And when we have somebody unhappy, we do everything for them. If you don't believe me, go on Twitter, go on Telegram, and find an unhappy Celsian, right? Why? Because if somebody's unhappy, we will go to the end of the earth to make sure that they're happy. We work 7 days a week to make sure every one of our customers is happy. And that's why we have a 90-something% retention rate, which no one else has. So that's why 7 days, and that's why we're reopening. So as you know, we are, that's big news coming up. Look at this. As you know, Mondays, we made Mondays the best day of the week. Many people used to hate Mondays. Oh my God, it's such a great weekend. I have to go and sit and report to my boss and tell him what I have to do this week. I don't have any energy to do that, right? Suddenly you wake up in the morning and the first thing you see in your wallet is all this money you made. And it just puts you in a great mood, you know? But Americans, for a variety of reasons, could not earn as much as people from overseas. And we kept working at it. We kept saying, look, this is just not fair. We got to do something for Americans. And we are doing something that is not silver and not gold, and it's platinum. We're giving the American users of Celsius and new users, we're inviting new users, a platinum treatment, okay? Not gonna tell you what it is, you gotta figure it out. You're gonna wait until Monday, but you're gonna have a beautiful, juicy surprise Monday morning on top of your interest, on top of your record interest that you're earning. And it's gonna be a record-setting surprise for Celsius. We've never done this before. On top of all the things I just mentioned that are all new things that we're adding and re-upping and doing even more, doing better. This is one of the best. And you guys, our American users are definitely have earned that because you've been loyal, you've waited, you didn't go to cheat on us with the competition, right? And here we are. You are being rewarded for sticking around. Next. All right.
If you're ready for some questions, we could go into some questions.
No, I only finished one page.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go
now
ahead.
We're on page number 2. So there was some decrease in the price of sell, right? And normally, if the lawyers were sitting here instead of Zachary, they would say, Alex, don't talk about sell token. You're not allowed to talk about the price of sell. They're going to put you in jail if you mention the price going up or down. I'm going to talk about price. Okay, so the reason the price of sell, it hit, I don't know, 49, 51 cents, whatever, and then starts going down, right? And it was because one of our ICO holders, somebody who is actually a dear friend, a great guy, decided that, okay, I've made whatever, I don't know how many times my money, I need to take some money off the table. And he started selling his stake, right? And basically, even though Celsius buys so much and many of you buy with your credit card or you buy it on Uniswap or you buy it on Liquid, that wasn't even enough because they just started dumping. I mean, they gave it to some guy It's not this guy who's selling. He gave it to some guy who doesn't know much about anything, and he started pressing the button, right? In chunks of 500,000 sell at a chunk, right? So the good news is that we're almost done through that, right? We almost finished through it. So there's very, very little left. And as I mentioned, Celsius will be buying a record, much higher record of new sell going forward because of the increase in AUM and the increase in the interest that we're earning. So that is the main explanation for the lower price. Now, again, all of that can change on a dime. If Bitcoin crashes tomorrow or Ethereum crashes and we are earning half as much in dollar terms, if Bitcoin goes from 14,000 back to 5,000, we will be earning almost a third in dollar terms, right? And since when we buying sell, it really is calculated, even though we earned in Bitcoin, we have to convert it into sell, it would be calculated in dollar terms. When we convert from Bitcoin to sell, we will be buying less, right? So the high price of Bitcoin, the high price of Ethereum, the volatility is all good for the price of sell token. So as long as that continues, you should see new record buys from us as well.
And something really special about the sell token is that we have this fixed supply, right? About 695 million, but the amount of assets that Celsius can hold is near unlimited. I mean, as we add more tokens to the wallet, and those tokens become more valuable, we're packing more and more and more value into this very closed system. And I think that's why Cell Token
it's
is
definitely
such an
accelerating. Vehicle. It's not a linear effect. And you can see that when we publish our report, when you get that weekly update, you can see that it's a parabolic increase, not a linear increase. And if you don't know what those things are, no shame in it. Just go and go on Wikipedia or whatever and put those words in, and you will see a pretty good explanation of all these things. I wasn't born knowing any of these things. I learned them one by one and accumulated the knowledge. And the key thing is really to connect all these things together. And I'll teach you one more trick. If you can verbalize, if you can say this to your cat or to your neighbor or to your, or even better, to somebody who doesn't believe in Bitcoin, if you can explain it when you verbalize it, your brain makes all the right connections to understand it even better. So if you really want to understand it, you have to explain it to somebody else. That is the best way to learn anything, and especially stuff about finance, because it seems so complicated. But when you verbalize it, you realize, gosh, I just said it. I said it better than Alex. All right, I'm starting my own AMAs, you know? So, all right, so we do have a new version of the app. We talked about it a bunch of times. The key thing in the new version is that we tried to simplify the UI UX. It's going to have a beautiful new interface. It's going to be faster, and it's going to remove multiple steps along the way. So you're going to get to what you're trying to do faster in less steps, right? So that's coming. Again, if you want to join the beta, email us and we will put you on the beta list. And last AMA, I said, we're opening the beta for the desktop version. And I think Ryan got something like over 50 people who signed up. He was like, I was like, do you want more? He's like, yeah, I'll take more. The more, the merrier. So if you're still interested in that as well, email us and we'll include you in that list as well. So now, you want to earn $100? Here's a quick one. We hired a new VP of marketing. Not going to tell you his name, but he's a great guy and he brings a lot of experience, and he's going to really crank up all of our marketing activities, but staying in that lane of doing everything in your best interest. It's not going to just go and say, oh, let's take all that money from the community and give it back to Google, right? But you want to earn $100, go find his name on LinkedIn or anywhere else. Follow him on LinkedIn or Twitter, and we will raffle. One of you guys will be the lucky winner, and you can get it in Cell only if you're non-US, or you can get it in Bitcoin if you're from the United States. So go start the scavenger hunt. All right, we're almost done here with the list. Let's see what else we have. And all right, let's talk a little bit about DeFi, okay? So I'm gonna defy the odds and talk about why CeFi is better than DeFi. So first,
the dad jokes are on point today, Alex. Excellent job.
yeah, the kids are always make fun of me when I make these jokes. But let's look at Celsius circa 2018, right? So May 2018 or June 2018, there was no DeFi. There was no like interest income. There was not a single place where you can go, put something you own, not do anything. You don't have to go and click buttons and move it 100 times or whatever. You can just put it somewhere and earn either in kind, meaning Bitcoin on Bitcoin or Ethereum on Ethereum, or have some other coin or token being showered on you, right? All of you think that Compound invented that, but really Celsius did that since 2018. You could give us Bitcoin and we gave you Cell token. What is that? Isn't that the same thing as putting DAI or USDC with comp and getting comp, right? So one way or another, you will see that Celsius really invented the whole category, and everybody else is just jumping through hoops, trying to copy the Celsius business model. One thing not a single company has successfully done is pay you more than Celsius Network. Go ahead, compare the rates, find any rate that you think is higher than Celsius, and I will show you how they charge you fees upon fees or require you to deposit $10,000-$20,000 of some fancy coin somewhere so you could earn that fee or earn that yield that you think you're earning for free. You're not earning it for free. You're giving $10,000 for free. Deposit that $10,000 with Celsius and you'll earn 8.65% on that money. So getting a little bit here and losing a lot over there. So the point is not who's better, DeFi or CeFi, right? The point is and if you want to see how friendly we are to the DeFi guys, go to our YouTube channel, the one you're watching right now, and look at the debate with Rune, who's the CEO of MakerDAO, one of the best projects in DeFi. A great guy. See us talk about the stuff for an hour and count how many times we disagree. Just count. Go. There was like 100 things we talk about. Okay. So the point is that we all agree on where we are destined. The question is, are you getting to it through the left door or are you getting to it through the right door? And if we're all headed to the same direction, we can get there holding hands. We don't have to fight with each other, right? So some of these projects, again, they shower coins on you and you think you're going to get rich quick and everything is wonderful and you lose your underwear, not just your pants, you lose your underwear, okay? If you were yum yum for yum, or you were shrimp for shrimp, or you like spaghetti, or you like all these other things that dropped 90 or more percent, and you got caught when the music got stopped, that is not good. It's not good for you. It's not good for the community. It's not good for anybody. So you have to think hard to yourself. Am I sticking with a proven, reliable, every Monday interest, which is actually higher than what anybody else is paying? Or am I going to go and quit my job and press all these buttons and pay all the gas fees that you forgot to calculate into your calculation of what your net income is in percentages and really beat the odds? I'm going to beat all the experts. We have over 100 people now. You're going to beat all of our experts and do it even better. All right. So there are few people in the world that can do it better than Celsius. Maybe few, but it's probably not you because you have a day job and you have a family and your kids are out of school right now and you got to teach them something as well. And you just don't have time to sit around the clock and press a button and move stuff and just to get a little bit of this DeFi or a little bit of that DeFi. So defy the odds and make the right decision and put your coins where they belong, where they're earning the most, right? And we will continue to pay you the highest interest. All right. So I think I exhausted myself. This was the longest opening, Zach. This was a test to see if you're just going to quit and just go somewhere else. But this was the longest opening of any AMA that I've ever done. So let's hit the question.
Okay, great comment from the chat on your last point. User said, Celsius Network changed my life from gambler to earner. I think that's, you hold your coins, you're going to earn every week. You don't have to play the altcoin game.
Yeah, and just all of you, just ping Pomp on Twitter and explain to him that BlockFi is not the one who invented this. BlockFi made a very kind of like amateurish copy of Celsius. Okay, that's where they are. So credit goes to again the 100 people in Celsius who are working on this every day.
All
Next
right.
question. Yep.
Here we got a great first question here. Mark asks, now that we have ACH working, when can we have recurring scheduled payments? I really want to dollar cost average straight into my Celsius wallet.
Right. So that is a utility on top of ACH. Obviously, it took us a long time to get perfect ACH, negotiate down the fees, all that stuff. So I think now that we have that, we can start adding these features one by one. This microphone was given to me by Wasim, was also the guy who kind of like can get this feature up and running. So bug Wasim, ask him about it every week and he'll get it done. So next question.
All right, Lucas is asking, how is the interest rate for sell token calculated? Is there a price at which sell interest rate would no longer be sustainable?
Is there a price where the sell?
Yeah, like
right.
because we
Yeah.
pay
No, I
sell on
understand.
sell
It's a
interest.
good question. So think of sell token as the turbo in your car, right? You can go so fast with your regular engine, and then turbo kicks in and gives you that extra power, right? So basically, we earn a certain level of income every day. And what we earn extra, we actually almost pay you that through sell, because the rate on sell, the yield on sell is almost like what we have left, the extra power that we have left that we cannot put into the rate. We cannot just for 1 week raise the rate a lot for this or that coin. So all of that accumulation is being distributed through the sell interest income, right? So when you see, for example, crypto.com paying 16%, right? That is obviously not a sustainable yield, and they're not earning it for sure. Again, Celsius is a profitable company, meaning we're actually generating profit after paying all of your interest in kind, after buying all these sell token, after paying interest on sell token. Even after all those things, plus payroll, plus marketing costs, plus everything else, we still have money left over. Now, that is very, very hard to do. No one in the world has done this. And you have to have scale to get there. You can't get there with 100 million in deposits. You can't get there with 500 million in deposits, right? And if you have a lot of deposits, but you can't deploy them like BlockFi, you can't get there either. So you need just the right balance, just enough loans and just enough deposits and just enough institutions. We have over 326 onboarded institutions, more than anybody else. And so all these things have to work together to achieve that goal. And the reason Celsius is not rushing and trying to outrun this guy or that guy is because if you rush, you're going to blow through all your money. You're going to burn all that cash. And that's what the other guys are doing. One way or another, they're burning their cash. None of them can go and tell you that they're profitable. Not a single one of them. Next question.
All right, from Soren. Hey, Alex, with so many companies now entering the crypto lending market, what are Celsius's plans to stay ahead of the competition?
So, do you own an iPhone? How many companies are getting into the phone business, right? And trying to make a better device. So it doesn't matter how many. Apple makes close to 100% of all the profit in the phone business, right? So in every industry, there is one company that managed to squeeze all of that. And in most cases, they keep it to themselves or they give it to their shareholders, right? Very rarely you're going to find a company that managed to become a monopoly and is giving all that back to their community. Very, very rarely, right? So what's unique about Celsius is not just that we got to that position. What's unique about us is also that we're keeping our promise that we will continue to do everything in the best interest of the community, because our goal from day one was 100 million new people on the blockchain. So we can do well, but only after we do good. And that's what you're not going to find with any of these other guys, right? That's not, go on their website, go on their app and find where they even talk about that, right? That's just not what they do. They're like, hey, we are asset management. We help fat cats manage their wallets. bring us all your coins. We will manage them for you, right? That's not Celsius. Next question.
We're always looking out for the little guy here. Okay, Paul asks, hi guys, I'm trying to convince some of my family members to move their crypto onto Celsius. What's the best advice to encourage them? Their number one concern is security.
Yes. So first, just get them to commit $10 or $50, right? Don't try to convince them to the beauty is that there's no minimum with Celsius. You can just download the app, do KYC, put $10, see how everything works, and decide if it's working or not. Second is that every person on the planet has his own comfort zone, meaning if you go to a person who's neurotic and he's afraid of, the sun is not going to shine tomorrow, right? Or not going to come out. It's just going to hide for the whole day. It's not going to be around. The earth is not going to continue spinning. Don't try to convince him to go and get Bitcoin, right? It's just too far of a goal. So focus on stablecoin, focus on gold, right? That's a much smaller step for people to jump from their comfort zone, which is their bank or their money management with Charles Schwab or whatever, into something completely new, right? And so you have to really understand who you're talking to and make sure that you get them there. Now, and for some people it takes a week. I got one interest payment, I'm good to go. I'm moving half of my assets. And for some people, it takes a year or even 2 years of seeing that and then deciding, okay, I'm going from $10 to $100. So you can't rush them, right? It's not about, because when you put pressure on them, then they feel like, oh, this is definitely a scam. Look how he's really trying. He must be making money somewhere off this thing. So you don't want any of that, right? You want people to understand. You can explain it to them. You can show them this video. You can create your own video in your own language. But the point is that you want to communicate, and each person is a different speed. And you have to learn what is the speed. Like I do that all day long, right? And I kind of gauge the person, ask him a few questions, and I know, okay, it's gold. So this guy is a gold bug. Here is gold plus 4.5% interest. Okay, and it's sitting in Switzerland. Well, how can you beat that? Right? No expenses every year, no this, no that. So much better performance than owning coins yourself, gold coins, or buying GLD on NASDAQ, where you're paying something like 0.25% per year in costs, minus, right? You're starting the year with a negative income already on your gold versus positive 4.5%. Next question.
All right. We have a question from Leo. Hi, Alex. Do you think Bitcoin can be replaced by something better in the next few years or decades?
Yes. So I mentioned this several times. I think the winning blockchain has not yet been invented. It doesn't mean that Bitcoin isn't great. Bitcoin will stay the granddaddy of crypto. But the blockchain that's going to work for 7 billion people on the planet has not yet been created. So, and if you look at any technological evolution, including voice of IP, let's talk about the most painful experience that I went through, right? I created the thing, I built the first gateway. I probably made the first, it's like Alexander Graham Bell making the first phone call and not becoming AT&T, right? So this is the company that won the most value out of voice of IP was not AT&T or Verizon or anybody else. It was WhatsApp. And that happened 20 years later, right? So the point is that the Bitcoin, as great as it is, Ethereum, as great as it is, are just like the first or second generation of voice of IP. And I can tell you it was miserable experience. It wasn't as good. The internet wasn't as fast as we are using right now. This is voice of IP we are using right now. So it's an open protocol. That's why, like right now, we're using Zoom. And it doesn't matter if you're using WhatsApp or Zoom or Skype or whatever. Basically, everybody's using the same technology. But who creates the value and how the value is created is what it's all about. And that's why in crypto, why is everybody copying Celsius, right? Because everybody realized, gosh, I can no longer make money from all the old stuff I used to make money on, right? Running an exchange or doing arbitrage or just buy and hold or whatever, right? So Celsius figured that out in 2016. and we launched the company in 2017, right? And so all these things are, and we are now launching what while everybody's trying to catch us up with what we did 3 years ago, we're already launching what everybody's going to want to do 3 years from now, right? So the challenge is, can you deliver more value at lower cost to more people, right? And that is the challenge that Bitcoin has. It cannot do all those things at once, but it's great at store of value, right? You want store of value, no questions asked. Bitcoin, like I said, put at least half of your money in it, whatever your allocation is for crypto. And again, this is not financial advice. This is what I'm doing, but you asked the question, Leo. Thank you. Next question.
All right, this one's exciting. I know it's something that's being worked on. Yasi asks, when will there be a way to independently verify Celsius assets under management?
It's coming much sooner than you think. Do we have a date, Zachary, or no? Do we know when that feature is launching?
I don't think we have a date, but I know we're getting very close. Hashtag soon.
Yeah, so I'll spill the beans. Here we go. So we invented a new thing called proof of community, POC. You heard of proof of work, you heard of proof of stake, you heard of proof of vegetables. Now we invented proof of community, right? What does it mean, proof of community? If you're lying and everybody in your community can audit you at any time, and all the community members together can audit you by each one of them saying, I have 2 Bitcoins. Yes, I do. I confirmed that. I received 1% interest, which is what I'm supposed to get. Yes, I confirmed that. If everybody did that, then you either don't have enough assets or you have more than enough assets, right? Because we're saying we have more than enough, meaning if all of you withdraw your coins right now, we will have assets left over, right? So if everybody got to vote and sign, right, electronically sign, every time they get a statement, every Monday, they're going to sign and say, yes, I have this many coins. Yes, I earned this much in interest, right? It's impossible for everybody to sign and not see that something is missing. So we're using cryptographic proof. We call it 100% proof, but the industry call it zero proof. We're giving you 100% guarantee, but the technical term is zero proof. A zero proof process to deliver to you that, and you can see 60% of the people voted, 70% of the people voted. You'll be able to see how many people actually confirmed that and have that level of confidence that maybe 95% of the people are going to vote, right? But we want to promote it. We want 100% of the people to vote because we have nothing to hide. So it's coming soon, POC, and that will raise the bar even more because all these guys playing games and not really doing anything will not be able to show you that they earned that interest. You see, you'll be able to see that the interest actually came into the wallet, right? So you can't fake that, right? You can basically track all the coins and see, okay, are they going in a circle? Are they just faking it? Or is it really coming from institutions or from people that are not correlated, not related to the company? So you can use chain analysis or other things to verify all of that, which is a much better process because people said to us, why don't you hire a big 4 accounting firm and pay them $1 million a year to audit you and tell us once a year that everything is kosher? Again, I lived through 4 of these collapses, right? And in 2007, not 8, 2007, beginning of 2007, one of these top 4 auditors told us that everything is great with Lehman Brothers. Now, Lehman took me public, right? My company, Arbinet, right? It's not like I'm not just telling you this because I hate those guys. Those guys made me rich. I bought this apartment because I made money on that IPO. So the point is that an auditor is checking stuff that happened a year ago. Proof of community checks stuff that happened in the past week. It also checks the year before that because basically it's all in blockchain, so you cannot cheat, right? We're signing every week. We're gonna have to be signing, electronically signing and writing it into the Ethereum blockchain, right? So we can't change it. It's immutable. But what you wanna know is what happened last week, right? You already know what happened in the previous year because you checked it last week and the week before and so on, so on, so on. So it's a much faster, much better process. And that raises the bar for all financial institutions worldwide. We're saying that POC is the new standard for financial institutions. You want to be in crypto? You want to do the stuff that Celsius does? Guess what? You better do POC. And we're doing it as a public service, open source. We're not hiding the code or keeping the protocol or the algorithm all to ourselves. All of that is in GitHub, and you'll be able to see it and audit it and tell us if you think we can do something better. Game on. Tell us what we can improve, and we will make it even better.
We're sending out a challenge to our
coming your way. What?
We're sending out a challenge to our competition to be as transparent as us.
Exactly. Oh, it's going to be painful when they see this AMA. They're going to be like, oh, shit, we were trying to catch up with what they did 3 years ago. Now they just raised the bar on us. Oh, my God. How are we going to challenge with this? How are we going to deal with this stuff? Right. Wait, this is nothing. We have like 10 things like POC coming your way, right? So
I can't spill all the news right now, Alex.
No, I think 2 pages worth of goodies is enough. Let's keep going. Yeah. Next question.
All right. Alan asks, how do you see the future development of decentralized stablecoins? Do you think they will overtake traditional collateralized ones?
So again, you have to pay attention to what's happening. First of all, we have, I think, 12 or 13 stablecoins. So we love stablecoins. There's no problem with them, right? But DeFi does not use KYC AML. And you can already hear Washington rumbling about the fact that they want to regulate this, right? They're basically saying, hey, all the banks have to use KYC. Why DeFi doesn't use KYC? Now, of course, we all believe in decentralization and we all believe in all the stuff that we do every day. But I'm telling you, the regulators are coming and they're going to be coming after all of these companies. So and stable coins are kind of stuck in the middle because they are the fuel that is powering a lot of this DeFi activity that you're seeing. So also some of these stable coins are not issued by companies that are trust companies, or they're just issued overseas, or they're issued under different regimes. So they're not like USDC or GUSD or TUSD, which are all trust companies, right? So you have to be very careful at what you buy and how you use it, right? So again, Celsius is not promising you that when you redeem your GUSD, you're going to get every dollar. Gemini is promising you that, right? And the US government and the state of New York finance department are making sure that they have the money and they're doing everything properly, right? So I have no doubt that GUSD is a great stable coin and it's following every regulatory requirement. And that's why we have it in the wallet. We think it's a beautiful tool. But it doesn't matter what we think. What matters is what the regulators want to do, what the overseas central banks want to do. And many of them don't like these stable coins. Now, I'm publishing actually an article about all of this, and you'll see that the velocity of the dollar since the coronavirus, actually a few years before, has been decreasing dramatically, meaning how many times the dollar changes its hand has been decreasing, which is kind of like the canary in the coal mine. It's telling you that economic activity is slowing down. Now, the velocity of the digital dollar or the stable coins has been increasing like crazy. That's why you're seeing, like now, I think there's something like $13 billion worth of stablecoin. Now, that's nothing in the sea of tens of trillions of dollars of real dollars or digital dollars. But the point is that the crypto stablecoins are growing like a rocket, like a weed, okay? And the use is much better. It's 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, right? You can move money, you can do whatever you want. You don't need a bank, you don't need KYC, so you can do many more things. And the velocity is 10 times higher, right? So in a way, it's good for the US dollar. The US government, Treasury, should look at this and say, we love stable coins, right? And that's what our lobbyists, not Celsius, but the industry lobbyists and everybody else is trying to do. But the fight has just started. There are many, many people who, especially the banks, who have some of the largest lobbyists in Washington, who don't want any of this to take place. All right, let's keep going. We're already an hour into it, but I want to cover all the questions. So I'm going to shorten my answers.
Let's keep them rolling. Matt asks, I saw on Twitter that Celsius is putting some of our coins on DeFi. How is the risk managed with these instruments?
Yes, very good question. And we are participants on Compound. We are participants in a few other DeFi projects. And so when you see these guys have all this money on deposit, some of it is your coins, right? We don't touch shrimps. We don't touch all of these crazy yums, all that stuff. We do not touch any fresh young protocol, right? So if you're just you were just born, I'm gonna let all the other guys come and figure out if you have bugs or if you have hacks or if you're a scam and all that stuff, right? So we are only deploying on, like, we love Maker, we love Compound, we love a lot of these projects where we add liquidity. Sometimes we're the borrower, sometimes we're the lender. Sometimes we just borrow DAI, and sometimes we contribute Ether or stable coins or whatever. So it really depends on what we need, right? Sometimes we have too much of something. We want to enhance the yield. Remember, our yield is institutional yield plus a DeFi yield. And if you just do the DeFi, you just have this piece, right? So do you want to blend the two together? Yes, you want to blend the two together and give even more to the community. So we want full deployment, and we achieve that through basically pulling together all the different, like I said, XRP, for example, right? So Spark is a great example of yield enhancement, but it's a brand new thing. It's like a baby that is not being born yet, right? So you wait for it to be born, you make sure that it's stable, you audit the smart contracts, you check the virtual machines, you do all that stuff, and then you give it a few months. We're not in a hurry. We fully deployed anyway, right? So and what you will see is us increasing the rate. When you see the rate for XRP going up, part of it is because more institutions want XRP, but part of it is, hey, we got a little bit going on Spark and it's working. Next question.
All right. Voss is asking, if you switch from earning interest in kind to in sell midweek, how is that calculated, and will you get a little bit of both?
I think you get a little bit of both, but I'm not sure. I actually not sure. I think we count each day or something like that, and then we take a snapshot.
Yeah.
Right, Zach? You know
Yeah.
the answer?
I think you should get a little bit of both
Yeah.
on your Monday payment. Okay, next question. Robert asked, can you convince me to sell my physical gold I have with goldmoney.com and buy a gold stable coin instead so I can earn interest and not have the negative carry?
I don't want to convince you to do anything, right? I mean, you have to make your own decisions. All I'm saying is first you should diversify. So maybe do half, maybe do a quarter, but there is no question that digital gold, and I'm not talking about Bitcoin, I'm talking about basically Tether gold or Paxos gold or some other coins we're going to be adding, will yield you more. You're going to end up with more, and there's pretty low risk that you're going to be losing your assets. So yes, you should diversify. The question is just what is the percentage of diversification that you should have? And again, now with the ACH and with SEPA, where you basically have almost no fee, you're actually paying less to acquire the gold than if you're buying physical gold with insurance and the delivery and storage fees and everything else. So you're winning on multiple levels, not just on the price. And again, same thing on liquidation. When everybody's selling gold, right, the prices of the coins, for example, may be below the value of the gold itself because everybody's selling. There's no market. Right here, Paxos gold and Tether gold is pegged very well. It's 1-to-1 with the price of gold, so you're never going to see a negative delta there on the pricing. Next question.
All right, Ron is asking, Alex, I have fiat USD languishing in a savings account earning only 25 cents a year. What is the best way to earn interest on that money with Celsius?
So two easy steps. One is you can buy any of the stable coins. So you, for example, you can go to Coinbase, buy USDC, and just transfer it to Celsius, right? And immediately starts earning interest. or TUSD or GUSD or anything like that, right? The second option is you can use ACH and buy the coin right inside our wallet, right? Because when you transfer the ACH, you can say, I want to buy USDC, and then it immediately starts earning interest. The second you bought it, it starts earning interest, right? So it really depends. If you already have a Coinbase account and you have other assets there, click, 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 you're done, right? And you just whitelist the Celsius wallet and you're done. But for some people, it's easier to do ACH. For ACH, you do need to set up a whole new thing, do KYC all over again. So it's a little bit more complicated, but then you're all set up. So if you're planning to do that again and again and again, definitely do the ACH option. 0.1%, all-in fee, nothing else. No fee for the USDC, no transfer fee, no withdrawal fees, no nothing, right? The best deal in crypto.
True that. Okay, Daniel's asking, do you have any suggestions to us that need to encourage our representative or our state representatives to allow us to earn on stable coins or to support other crypto assets?
Look, right now Celsius is too small, right? If we had 100 million members, I guarantee you the representative will be calling us. We wouldn't even need to call them because they'll be like, can you whisper in your members' ears that I am the one who filed for that legislation in Texas? I'm the one. I know you have like 2 million members in Texas, right? So the point is that we need to grow. We need to grow, get some bigger muscles, and then we can do anything we want. And that's the beauty. How do you think Facebook is doing everything they want? How do you think Apple does everything they want, right? So everyone is catering to them. Oh, come build your plant in my state. Oh, come hire some people over here, right? Oh, come, we'll give you rebates. We'll give you tax, whatever benefits. Just come over here. Same thing with Celsius, right? We just need to grow. We just need to go from 150,000 people to 150 million people. So I would not poke the bear right now. I would not poke the regulators. There are legal ways to do the stuff that you're talking about. I mean, in the last AMA, I talked about a specific example of somebody opening a New Jersey LLC and using that entity to apply for a loan or to make a deposit or whatever. Again, we don't set the rules. We don't, we know the rules, and we legally have to block certain services in certain states to stay compliant, and there's nothing we can do to change that. Next.
All right, next question. Sam is asking, I would love to see my interest accrue in real time like Coinbase. Would that be something possible to add to the app?
Coinbase is 0.25% a year.
0.15%.
0.15%. So if you love watching, the tides or watching the sun go around the earth, then great. Coinbase is just for you. We want to slap you across the face every Monday morning and show you how much you earn. It's going to be 100 times more, maybe even more than 100 times more, right? And it's going to be 100 times more if you're earning in sell. 100 times more than what Coinbase pays you if you're earning in sell. And only 80 times more if you're earning in kind, right? In USDC. So I'm just making a joke, right? The point is that it doesn't matter if we show it to you in real time or we show it to you once a week. What matters is, did we earn it? Did we pay you most of it? And are you happy, right? Are you safe? Are we acting in your best interest? Can you sleep at night not worrying what's going to happen Monday morning? You're always going to get that interest, right? In almost 3 years now, we've paid every week, right? Never missed a beat. So never got hacked, right? So look at all the other companies and find me someone who can say those words. No one can say those words in one sentence, right? They might say it and not look you in the face. They might look away, but I'm looking you straight in the face. And I can say those things because we are acting in your best interest. Next question.
All right. Question from Thomas. Could you elaborate what criteria you look at for new assets will you be expanding assets outside of crypto one day?
The answer is yes. As I mentioned in the last AMA, we already done a transaction outside of crypto. We are planning to add all forms of digital assets. Libra, for example, is a digital asset. We would love to have Libra. We would love to have the digital dollar. We would love to have all kind of other stuff that's coming down the pipe. And we really need to see first, like, okay, let's say tomorrow we're going to have 2 million members. We need to understand what they want. What are they looking for? Because it's not just about what I sit here and dream about in my house, right? This is about where is the industry going? Where is our community going? Can we keep our users happy, right? What are they looking for? And that's why while now we're experimenting with the other different other digital assets, all of that is done to make sure that when we're ready with something that the community wants to scale. Next question.
Okay, a question from Troy. Can I transfer big money into Celsius on the order of hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of crypto?
Yes, you can. I think our largest deposit, single deposit, was $14 million. One deposit, bang, right? And we had withdrawals that were like millions of dollars worth. Like I know one guy had like an $8 million withdrawal, right? So we don't have a problem. The opposite, the more the merrier. We don't have enough cash right now, US dollar. We don't have enough of it. I would take another $100 million worth of US dollar right now without any, nothing, right? And the rate would not go down. I promise you, the rate would stay the same. I'll take another 100, I'll take $200 million right now, and the rate would not change. So the issue is that, again, look, when Celsius 2.5 years ago came up with this rate, 8 point something percent, everybody said, what a scam. Mashinsky lost his marbles. No one else is doing it. The banks are only paying 0.2% per year. I can't believe this guy's not in jail. Now there is a dozen companies offering exactly the same rate. What happened if Celsius stopped offering that rate? Do you think BlockFi would offer you 8.6%? They would offer 0.86%, right? We are setting the standard. We are paying you so much that everybody else has to take a deep breath and go and try to hold their breath next to us, right? So why? Because that's what we're earning. Actually, right now we're earning even more. I might even, thank you for saying that. I might raise the rates for next week, because we're earning even more. Right now, the rate on USD is actually much higher, right? And don't ask me, go on plenty of other websites and look at what the borrow rate is for USD in the crypto community. And you'll see it's double digits. So can I pay you 8.6% if I'm earning double digits? Of course I can. The problem is, what do you do when the rate drops to 6% and you publish 8.6? Are you earning it anywhere else? Do you have enough reserves? Did you establish a rate that balanced all these things out? And that's what other people can do. They're all losing money at 8.6%. We're not, right? Right now, they might be making money for a few weeks because things popped up and look great. Next question.
All right. Do you plan for Celsius to be a long-standing independent organization? Are you able to keep this going in the long run?
Yes, it's an excellent question. And it's a question that, again, this is my 8th company. Every one of my previous 7 companies, I lost control of those companies. Why? It went public. I brought big investors. Again, the 2 founders at BlockFi don't have any say. I mean, they're not in control of the board. They're not in control of the company. The guys who invested, I think now it's close to $100 million or maybe more. They're in charge. Do you think they want to give everything back to the community? They hate my guts. They're like, how do we get rid of this Mashinsky guy? He's ruining the party for us. We soon going to have to go public, and we're not going to be able to play this game anymore. We're going to have to show profits because public companies have to show profits. Otherwise, game over. So Celsius from day one was created in the interest of the community. And we were offered deals left and right from all these guys who said, just give us a chunk of the company and you can keep doing whatever you want. I know how it ends up. I've done it. I've done 7 venture-backed companies before Celsius. They're all venture-backed. And in all of them, one way or another, sooner or later, the VCs ended up not just owning the company, most of the company, but also controlling the destiny of the company. So when we selected Tether, one of the most important things with the Tether team was that they said to us from the beginning, we do not intend to tell you what to do. We do not intend to micromanage or take over the company, anything like that. And to prove that, guess what? We don't need voting rights. We don't need board seats. We trust you. And it's not because I'm God or something. They looked at the business. They went through several cycles with Celsius. We worked with them for several years, and they've seen how we run our business. And they realized that what we do is always in the best interest of the community. We had no problems on March 12th while everybody else was liquidating customers left and right, right? We were tested during a bear market, during a bull market, during a flash crash, right? And Celsius came out smelling like a rose. So I'm sure that if I bring these VCs in, they will change the business model because I'm giving too much to the community. They'll be like, what the heck are you doing here? You earning millions of dollars and you're just giving it to these people who don't even know that you've earned it? Let's hide these profits. Let's just, put them in some piggy bank and give it to ourselves as a dividend. That's what the banks do every day. Right?
Yeah, I
So,
think it's kind of so sad is we're conditioned to not receiving anything on our money.
yeah,
And it's like
exactly.
a shock when like a 1.5% interest rate on a savings account is considered high, and that's like
Exactly.
an insult,
What you should be shocked about is not how Celsius pays this rate. What you should be shocked about, what Zachary just said, which is how do the banks get away with stealing so much from all of us and giving it to their shareholders, and no one has done anything about that in 700 years of banking. Okay? How is that possible? Right? So now that we cracked the code, we cracked this monopoly, all these guys showing up, they're all Wall Street guys. Look at the investors of BlockFi, the whole Wall Street guys, they're all billionaires. They're running up and saying, me too, me too. This looks like a good model. I better jump on this gravy train. The gravy train is 100 million users. The gravy train is not taking the company public. Okay, that's what they're missing. So we need to keep the path. We need to stick with our model. I've said several times, my mission is to die and have this company continue running for several hundred more years and act in the best interest of its community, right? I'll be the happiest guy in the world if I just died off and this thing just kept doing good for millions of people. And I'm serious about that because, again, you're not taking anything with you. All you're leaving behind is your legacy. The guy with the most dollars who dies doesn't win. But that's what we think today. Look how rich this guy is. Wow, my God, he died a billionaire. Really? Next question.
All right, from Jason. Hi guys, would it be possible to see what interest we're going to receive on Friday before we actually get it on Monday?
If the rate hasn't changed, it would be the same rate as the same interest you got last week. So look at the last week. You can use a calculator as well, but when the rate changes up or down, you then have to really do new math. But otherwise, it would be the same thing as before in coin terms, right?
He's asking about like, well, if we can see what we're gonna get on Friday. I think people just love seeing themselves getting paid so much that we want to see it twice in a week, not just once.
I hear you. Deja vu all over again, huh? All right.
Yeah.
Let's
okay,
see,
next question.
Let's see if we can come up with something, a sneak peek. You make a deposit, we'll show you. You make an extra deposit, we'll show you what's coming Monday. All right.
Okay. Nan is asking, Alex, when do you think Wall Street will stop preventing Bitcoin from truly exploding to its full potential?
It's a great question. Look, they are slowly coming on board. Like you can see Goldman Sachs, right, trying to do something. You see JP Morgan doing business with Coinbase and the Gemini. So you see that the pie is getting so sweet that it's too much to pass, right? And the bigger the AUM, the bigger the asset class, right? The more you're gonna see one bank after the next, one financial institution after the next, come and join the party. So, but it's very hard for them. This is a completely different animal. This is not like, okay, I have Apple and I'm going to add Google stock to my app, right? So that's obviously is easy, but this is like an alien. It has like completely different everything, and you can just take Bitcoin and add it to your existing portfolio and say to your customers, here, now I'm supporting Bitcoin. So everything is different, right? So I think, again, the OCC decision of telling all banks, look, you're not going to get in trouble if you touch Bitcoin is a huge step. I'm shocked at how little coverage that got and how people didn't understand that this is like, when you look back 10 years from now, that's going to be the moment that everybody's going to say, here is where everything changed. And it's not because of the price of Bitcoin. It's going to be that this is where everything started. Basically, the Pandora box got open and no, it could never be closed again. So are certain banks still trying to slow this down, talking to regulators, trying to make it super hard for companies like ours to offer services in their state? Of course, that's still happening every day. But look, Celsius has done everything we've done, staying compliant. Again, we've added on our website regulatory tab. You can go and look at it, right? And it lists all of our filings, and we applied actually for several more licenses. So the minute we get those, we'll add them to the site as well. But the point is that we've done all of it with full compliance, while everybody else was trying to do all the stuff with skirting the law and not doing KYC and hiding overseas and all kind of other stuff. And we kept saying, why? Why do you have to do that? There is a path in which you can be fully compliant and still do that. And that's what BlockFi does. To give them a compliment, they are fully compliant, just like Celsius, right? They do everything that Celsius does. They copied everything we did, right? So they're proof. You don't believe me? Here is another copy, right? That's doing the same thing, right? So if the SEC somehow didn't, or the OCC, right, didn't pay attention to us, or the FinCEN didn't notice Celsius, believe me, they would notice BlockFi with $100 million investment. And those investors would not write those checks if anything there was illegal or was inappropriate. So the point is that yes, we are staring a bull in the face, right? And this is you know, if the bull tackles us right now, we're not going to survive. And the bull, I mean the banks, right? But the good news is that the regulators are watching them very closely, and the regulators right now are on the crypto side. Right? The regulators are saying banks were never given a monopolistic right to steal all your money. Okay? We never promised that 4 banks in the United States are going to dictate what you earn on your money or charge you crazy fees for everything. Fees to withdraw your own money. And I'm not talking about crypto.com. I'm talking about Bank of America. Next question.
Okay, we're coming to our last 2 questions. Alex is asking, do you think DeFi and open finance will be a major tool to fight poverty?
Fight poverty?
Yeah, to combat poverty.
If we develop DeFi to act in the best interest of the community, yes, it will. If we are using DeFi to enrich the rich and allow, look, if you told me 10 years ago a bunch of people want to be farmers, I would be cheering for you. But today, farmer means I'm scamming somebody else, because when you're farming, what are you doing? You're waiting for someone else to come in, put more money in so you can get your money out, right? So, you know, again, I'm not an expert in Ponzi schemes, but it sounds like a Ponzi scheme. So do we want to build the future? Do we want to help 7 billion people? There is no other technology that can do this. CeFi, DeFi, same thing, it doesn't matter. But the point is, this is the technology. We use smart contract, we use multi-sig, we use MPC, we all use exactly the same tools, right? Are we going to waste that on shrimps and on, you know, spaghetti and on yams? Or are we going to deliver financial freedom and financial independence to 7.5 billion people on this planet? That is a huge question. This is not like a little thing. Most of us, again, I am blessed that I got to do this in my lifetime. I got to do it twice. One with the voice over IP, well, 3 times, right? Once with the transit wireless, and once again here. I'm blessed. I don't feel that I shouldn't be paid any money for this. I enjoy every day. I can't wait to wake up in the morning. I wake up at 5 a.m. and my wife is like, again? I'm like, I have so much energy. You have no idea what I'm going to do today. And it's 7 days a week like that. So you can't, I tried retirement. I was miserable. So the joy of being able to do good and do well is something that when you experience it, you go, wow, I've missed this thing my whole life. It's really that easy. I just onboarded a few people. I got paid. This is the easiest money I've made, and I've done good, right? So I rather do that. I rather onboard people and help them walk to financial independence than help them earn some yum or, earn some shrimp or whatever else, right? So these are games, they're experimental, they're developing protocols. Yes, I agree with all of that, right? So yes, we need some experimentation, but you're going to put your life savings into that thing? No, it's not going to end up well. Last question.
All right. Last question from Anna. Is Celsius Network available in New York?
Yes. Celsius Network is available for deposit. You can deposit Bitcoin, Ethereum. I think even Cell Token is legal now in New York. And I'm missing USDC. You can take loans in New York. Yes, I know some of you think, well, for all this time, Alex kept saying, no. It's been available now for months, right? So download your app. If you're in New York, try it out. And you can definitely be a Celsian and still be a New Yorker. And, I live in New York. I've lived in New York for 32 years. It's the best city in the world. And I love doing what I'm doing every day from New York City. So Zachary did great, right, guys? How did Zachary do? I was saying before the AMA started, he's going to have a hard time competing with Kristen, but he works with Kristen every day. But Zachary did great, and he's, again, a great addition to the community. Thank you. And thank you, all of you, for joining us again. And we'll see you next week. And I'm not going to be able to beat this amount of good news in 1 week next week. Okay, so this was a special week. This was a special AMA. And we love you. And thank you for trusting us. And keep doing what you're doing.
All right. Appreciate it, Alex. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in.